Alrighty, welcome back to the ongoing Devplay series for Apsis Online. My name is Dupe. I'm the lead developer or sole developer programmer on the project. The first thing I want to point out, in comparison to the last video, the social network overlay has been renamed at space, which I feel more accurately represents what's going on here. And as usual, we'll go ahead and sign in. Now, I'm above a small planet in sector 4 last time I checked. And you see by the top right hand corner, SN stands for sector number. And we are in 4A. Let's go ahead to the shuttle and head planet side, see what's going on. One of two things will happen. There will be a base already built, or I will need to build one. Population is 1, so I might have already landed. Aha! So one of the first things I want to go over in regard to version 2 is the ability to build and embark upon landing on a planet. What you see here is a mainframe. If you look below where it says chat channel, the feed effectively functions as a shorthand descriptor, for the uninitiated ASCII players out there. The monolithic mainframe hums ominously with a yield of 100 watts an hour, which can then be converted to Tetra to in-game currency. This line work here, that's fiber cable that I laid to connect, say, the beacon you need for other players to find you, represented by the eye, and the warp reactor, which is emitting an aura glowing brilliantly in multiple colors. See that there below. The reason why you want to connect these is to both power them and receive power in some cases, depending on what you're building. But I won't get too deep into that until I've further fleshed out those features. But we have laid the groundwork for more growth in the building area going forward. Now let's head out of here. We don't really need to be on this planet. I wanted to do a real bang up job. Perfect. I was trying to damage my engine so I could go ahead and show you how you might go about repairing them. So this is the engine room. And we can go ahead to the top right corner of the room here, which is the diagnostics. There's an 80% chance of a meltdown, but we'll attempt to repair it by pressing A. And it was successful. What this means now is that we can jump. Now, initially, the player's ship is in orbit around Bromius 2, the initial planet of the game. And I want to get into something else that's important there. But first, let's go ahead and try to jump. Now, jumping really also depends on skills, which are currently disabled due to slow servers. We don't want to be bogging down with stats. But jumping depends on certain stats like administration, particularly piloting skill, hardware skills, etc. It affects the rate at which you may fail to jump or succeed. And in some cases, you might find yourself going back and forth between your bridge and engine room. Then again, this is the future. So we can do fancy things like connect to the bridge from the engine room. And looks like our jump was finally successful. Where were we? Sector 5, supposedly. Now, what I was going to go ahead and say, another note on those planets, rather, is the introduction of a faction system in the back end, developments in the front end, or what you will see in the future will probably be slow going. You'll see some of the results in regards to factions and or corporations which function like guilds and Apsis online. You just see some of the fruits of that labor sometime around version 4 or 5. But the initial factions will be the UESA, the United Earth Space Authority, the Frontier Company, and the Arkan, which will be the antagonists for the game going forward. There will be other species besides human and Arkan in particular, or alien. There's also a kind of background machine conflict going on, but I have not necessarily filled in the lore for that yet. As it stands, you know everything you do need to know based on what's already provided in the handbook and so on. So let's go ahead and settle. Enough talking there, and see what we generated here. Temperate planet with some water and things. Not much to see here, but yeah, I really wanted to go ahead and just show y'all how, again, building things work. So, want to build a mainframe, generate power. Power can be used to power various other structures you might build on a planet, like the warp reactor. And let's see here. Let's get a little creative about the way we're laying the fiber. Do something side by side. Have a little fun. We'll put the warp reactor next to the storage array, and structures built adjacent to other structures, um, they'll be able to siphon off each other if they're compatible. In that case, we built a storage array. You see several large flickering rows of data storage units with a capacity of 1,000 watts. That what that does is it serves as a kind of battery, terrestrial battery, just for storing excess power generated by your mainframe should you need it in the future. Should some natural catastrophe destroy your mainframe, you might have these big terrestrial batteries adjacent to other structures that could power those same structures. Chat should be online. I want to go ahead and say version 4. I had it planned for version 3, but I also had Windows planned for version 3, and I came for in version 2. Um, I am looking for a lot of feedback right now. I am somewhere in between focusing on combat and economics, um, and of course, building out the game's story. Dealing with factions and things creates the conflict, and conflict. Let's be honest here, it creates fun. So I am focusing on some kind of competitive system, generally speaking, that should tie everything together going forward. If you want to keep up with the project, you can go ahead and follow me on Twitter. That's twitter.com/DoopLejoy, DoopLejoy. Find us at apsis.online. Although I could recommend the HIO page for more information. Potentially, multi-crew ships could be as early as version 5. I want to go ahead and turn animations back on as well. We could see that as early as version 3. I do not have a release date for Mac. I've had some issues porting the engine there. Regardless, some very exciting things coming up for the next build. Major tweaks, I think, to the forum code, performance on Windows. The text editor needs some improvement, things of that nature. But so far, so good. Haven't had too many issues there. Um, Thanks for watching. Looking forward to seeing you in game. Take it easy.